Morning, Andrea. So, thank you so much for sharing your experience of working with me. For those of you who are watching this, obviously, I'm Marie Brobin from Marie Brobin Wellness, and this is Andrea. We met, oh gosh, was it last year, the beginning of last year,
Was
through,
last year, yes.
yeah, through business networking. And that's how we met, basically. But, Andrea, do you want to just, before you give your testimonial of working with me, just introduce yourself, a little bit about you and what you do?
Yeah. No, absolutely. Hi, everybody. So I'm Andrea, and I'm a virtual assistant. I've been doing that for about just over two years. And as Marie said, we kind of met through business networking and kind of hit it off, really.
Absolutely, absolutely. As you do, build relationships, don't you, when you network
Absolutely,
with
yeah. As
people?
you said, yeah.
Um, Amazing, amazing. So thank you, Andrea. I want to just ask you, obviously we met
Mhm.
and you had some challenges. What were the
That's right.
challenges that you were experiencing when we first met?
I think for me, the kind of main thing with my kind of health challenges were because I actually felt what I felt like I wasn't as healthy as I could be. I kind of felt like I wanted to change how I was thinking about my health. And I needed to kind of put myself first. I've got two kids and obviously family and lots of other sort of challenges as you do with a family, and even if you haven't got a family you've still got other life challenges anyway, as we all do.
Yeah.
I kind of felt like I was always putting everybody else first. And if I kind of carried on down that road, I probably wouldn't have been able to kind of be present, I think, even not just for for myself, for my family, and for my business. Because if I can't be here, for all that, then everything's just going to take go downhill, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, that is so true. Everybody is busy, life is busy, and there are so many demands on time, aren't there? And I
There
think
are.
thank you for sharing your challenge because I think probably some people watching this will resonate with what you're saying as well, with time pressures and not being able to put yourself first. So thank you for sharing that. So what happened? What made you want to make a change and work with me in particular?
Um, I think for me, as obviously as you said at the beginning, we met through kind of networking, and when we had building those relationships, and we had like one-to-ones and and as not just the one, obviously as it went on further, I found a very as yourself, you're very kind, very empathetic, non-judgmental. I felt like as we kind of knew each other through networking and got to know each other, that we would work having a great working relationship anyway. I think outside of that, as on a personal kind of level, I was kind of also able to, even through the one-to-ones, was able to share things, able to kind of open, because you can't be like that with everybody.
Yeah.
And I think I was drawn to kind of all of the above and your kind of supportive nature. Um, and for me, that's something that's the reason why I've decided to kind of work with you, really. Um, yeah,
Thank you, Andrew. That's really nice to hear as well. And it is important, isn't it, to have that trust, to have that
it is.
space where you can be open and you can be honest. And that's obviously where you get the best out of that working relationship if you can be that way with each other. And I certainly found that working
Yes.
with you as well, that we could work
Thank you.
well together, and there was that mutual sort of trusting relationship. And that was great to work with. So thank you for that. So what changes have happened? Because we worked together for over about 3 months, didn't we, last
We
year
did,
between
yes.
September and December. So what has changed for you since you've worked with me?
I think my mindset, I think there's the one thing that keeps kind of sticking out to me. My mindset has been the number one thing that has changed, as I kind of is focusing on myself and not beating myself up when there is a setback, because setbacks are going to happen. It's not all going to be plain sailing. And I think a lot of the time beforehand, I wasn't doing that. I was like, right, okay, if something goes wrong, beat myself up. It's my fault. I shouldn't have done that, and that sort of thing. I think what I began to realize while working with you was that it doesn't matter if something happens. Things will happen that are going to go wrong, and not go wrong as such, but just be okay. We've kind of gone a step back, and maybe we need to kind of go a step forward. I'll give you an example. The one thing that I have around this sort of time is about 10:30 at the moment, and I tend to have like a coffee or or a tea, and I have a biscuit. Um, when I used to beat myself up every time I used to eat it afterwards, I shouldn't have had that. I shouldn't have had that. But now it's like, okay, there are times when I have it and times when I don't, but I don't worry about it. If it's happened, I've done it. It's fine. I don't hold on to that kind of anxiety
Yeah.
behind it. So I think for
Yeah.
me, is the mindset has been the top thing of making those changes and not worrying about if something is to kind of go wrong. And that has been it is a small change, but it's a big change for me. As a
It's
result, that's the most
yeah.
important thing, really.
Absolutely. And do you know what? I think it's actually quite a big change from a mindset shift to show kindness to yourself rather than criticism.
Yes.
And
Hmm.
mindset is such an important part of any
It
change, isn't
is.
it?
Yes,
And I
it
think
is.
nothing is perfect. And I think, that is just you saying, all right, I want to make these changes, but it's not going to be perfect. And just understanding you've got a choice over how you think and feel. And,
Mm.
that whole mindset is a big shift, actually. It might seem
It
small, but
has been definitely being a big shift, and I've made not it's not that's the mindset's always been the most important. That has been the best outcome out of it. Is that not worrying too, because I'm a bit of a worrier, I'll be honest. So
yeah.
not worrying about, I suppose, how I'm feeling, if something happens, it doesn't matter. But I also think the other sort of little changes that I have made as well, that you obviously have helped me along with, making time for yourself. That has been something, as I kind of sort of said before, it's about me as well. And I think that's been the most important thing. And finding the time slot which works for me, which I have now, and making those little changes. For example, one thing I kind of said to you, I think at the beginning, is I wanted to kind of, apart from just eating better and being healthy, I also wanted
Yeah.
to get out there and do some form of exercise. I thought, for example, it might be better to kind of go out there and just do like an exercise class, like a dance class. But I think time permitting, and just couldn't find what I wanted locally. And I actually wanted to get out the house, bearing in mind I work from home.
Yeah.
So I wanted to get out. So just walking and doing that sort of 20-minute walk every single day, has really just given me a different kind of perspective as well. And a few other little changes as well along the
Amazing.
way. So slowly, I'm getting there, but mindset has
That's
been the
amazing.
most important thing.
Fantastic, Andrea, because it just starts with one small change, doesn't it, really? And that's what you've done. And often when you make
And
a
there's a
small
knock-on
change,
effect. Yeah.
it makes you want to make more changes when you see the results. And I think creating
Yeah.
time for yourself can be a real challenge. So I'm so pleased that you've decided to do that and you've made it happen. You've created that time, and you're continuing with that. That is absolutely fantastic. So well done, and keep going.
Thank you.
Um,
Thank you. But it's
and
all because of
what
all your support along the
Bless
way.
you. And your
Helping me,
commitment, actually,
keeping
your
me
commitment as
accountable.
well. Yeah, well, accountability also very, very important. So, with all
Important.
of those things like the mindset shift, the making
Mhm.
small changes, the creating time for yourself, the feeling less anxiety and worry around your choices and all of that, and just feeling less stress. Uh, what impact has that had on you as a person, as Andrea?
Um, I think it's been made. I suppose I've got my mind's clearer, um, and showing up for perhaps for my children, the family, setting, time a bit more, that, when I've got to do work and when I've got to going to be more present. I think a lot of the time, I think that's sometimes I felt like I wasn't present enough,
Mm.
for my children was obviously the most important thing. So being able to kind of do that means I'm also more present for them, and then also be more productive in business as well, because I'm a little bit more strict with my time, because that's something else that I wasn't really strict with. I'll be honest. I literally was just working all the hours I probably could just to get stuff done.
Yeah,
But no, I'm kind of strict with everything. It is switching off. I think it's making that time for yourself again.
yeah,
That And I think sleep has been something that I needed more sleep, because obviously if I'm doing a little bit of work in the evening, I didn't think that was such a good idea, because
yeah.
then I ended up going to bed a bit later, feeling tired the next day, not being as productive for business. But what it's done, making those small changes, has changed the way that I think as well. And
That's
you know,
amazing.
business is getting a lot better, which is the most important thing.
Well, that I mean that is fantastic because I mean,
Mm,
obviously because you're a business owner, your health and
mm,
your mindset reflects in your business as well. So I can hear and see in you that you have made those changes for you personally, but obviously they're having an impact on your business. So as well as you sleeping better, being more present with your family, I mean, how wonderful is that?
it is.
Creating those boundaries, which it sounds like you've managed to do, and you are feeling the impact of that on your sleep, on your relationships with your family, your business, and it just sounds incredible. Just making those couple of changes, but a big mindset shift, and taking the actions that you've taking the commitment for your own health. Um, you can obviously feel quite an impact on every part of your
Yeah.
life.
And
That is
I
amazing.
also think, yeah, it is absolutely amazing. I think the most important thing is, when I kind of go back to that kind of mindset as well, well, one of the most important things is I'm making those changes and it's having an impact. I'm also, if those sometimes they're days and, you know, maybe the odd day here and there where things aren't going as well as they could be, I'm more accepting of the fact that, okay, it's happened. Tomorrow's another day. Let's just kind of move on from it and not dwelling on it. I think that's kind of the important. And then that's been the mindset shift, really.
Absolutely. A big shift though, actually, Andrea, because I think you can stay in that place for too long sometimes, aren't you, of
You get stuck in
self-criticism.
a rut, I think. And that's the
Yeah,
problem.
and
Yeah,
actually can affect your self-worth and how you see yourself, and just reinforces sort of negative patterns, doesn't it, as well? So
it does.
fantastic, really, really well done for committing to improving your
Thank
health.
you.
And it's credit to you. And obviously I know we've worked together, but the fact that you decided and you made that decision and invested in your health and well-being, it's obviously having paying dividends now. So long may it continue. And I want to thank you
Yes,
for trusting
exactly.
help you and spending the time
Okay.
together, showing up. And like you say, now you're showing up for yourself and your business and your family as a healthier, happier person. One
Thank
thing
you.
I would just ask, one extra little question, Andrea,
Mhm.
if somebody is listening to this who maybe is in a similar position to you, maybe has just set up a business or is trying hard to juggle everything, what would you say to them if they're feeling a bit stuck and not knowing what to do about moving forward?
Um, I think it's just take. I think the most important is to take some time out to think about, um, to stop. I think stop and think about how they're feeling. Um, it's just not carry on, not carry. Just have that, even if it's a 5-10 minute thing. Just think, hold on, I'm feeling like this. Why am I feeling like this? What changes do I need to make? Because if I carry on like this, then we're going to have a downward spiral. I think it's just taking some time away from the situation or how they're feeling and think about what impact and how it's affecting you. And one thing I would say, if you can, get some help, and support. I think more than support,
Yeah.
I think that is, surround yourself really is with the support of people that are going to, light you up, bring you up, whatever it takes. Even just making a small change, even if you just need to get out just to go for a walk, if it's something that's just you're finding really, really difficult, or even if it's just to read a book, just time out from that whole day to day, the way that you feel, taking your mind away from what's actually going on, and just think about what it kind of, what it's doing really. And if you need the support, Marie's here to help as well.
Thank you. Absolutely. But I love what you've learned. I love what you've learned from just sort of us working together and discovering for yourself, what's important in terms of helping you make those changes. And I really appreciate you sharing that and sharing your advice really, and your what you think is going to work for somebody else who may be feeling the same as you did. And of course, yeah, thank you, Andrea. I am here to help. If you're listening to this and any of this resonates with you, it's not a failure to ask for support. It's really important. It means you don't want to stay where you are. You don't want to give up. You don't want to just settle. So reach out for some support, whether it's just accountability or some coaching or just a buddy. But if you want to have a
Yes,
chat,
that's
I'm more
important. That's
absolutely.
important.
Don't
Buddy.
feel like you're on your own, because a lot of people are feeling just like you were, Andrea, and maybe just need a little bit of support. So I'm here for a complimentary chat with anybody who's listening to this and needs some help right now, especially as we're,
Yeah.
looking at a
Highly
year
recommend.
ahead.
You definitely speak to Marie.
Bless you. Thank you, Andrea. And listen, thank you for spending the time
Okay.
sharing your
That's
story.
okay.
Much appreciated. And here's to a
I really hope
fabulous
it helps somebody else
2024.
as well.
Me too.
Even
Me
if
too.
it helps, yeah, as you said, even if if it helps one person, two, or however many, then I feel like I've even helped somebody
Absolutely,
and
absolutely.
supported
Thank you
them.
so much, Andrea.
That's
And
okay.
you wishing you a happy and healthy 2024. Bless you.
Thank you. You too. Thanks. Thanks,
Thank
Marie.